Would you work 12 hours a day, 70 hours a week? Well, that is what Infosys founder Narayana Murthy has suggested in an interview with Mohandas Pai on 314 Capital's podcast titled The Record. He said, and I quote, "Unless we improve our work productivity, unless we reduce corruption in the government at some level, we will not be able to compete with those countries that have made tremendous progress. So therefore, my request is that our youngsters must say, this is my country, I would like to work 70 hours a week." He also drew parallels with the work conditions in Germany and Japan after World War II. Now his comment has sparked an interesting debate on social media and elsewhere. There are those that think Murthy is absolutely right. What India needs is youngsters willing to slog it out, and others who are horrified at 70-hour work weeks. Now comes the question, do young Indians need to work that long, that hard, sacrificing their personal lives to build the nation? More importantly, do longer hours spell greater productivity? According to data curated by time tracking app Clockify, due to long hours and a high burnout rate, workers across America demonstrated a 4.1% drop in productivity in 2022. This is the sharpest drop ever since the US Bureau of Labor Statistics started measuring employee productivity in 1948. The negative productivity trend has continued, with US workers' productivity dropping by 2.7% in the first quarter of 2023. Now, this aside, one could argue that the United States is an advanced country and it has the luxury of rethinking its work hours. It can afford shorter work hours for its labor force, considering a bulk of its grunge work is outsourced to emerging economies like India and the Philippines and of course China. India, on the other hand, is a developing nation with an extremely large population. A population that gives it a huge workforce where unemployment is a major issue, where a worker who doesn't want to work long hours can easily be replaced by a more willing substitute. Can Indian workers demand fewer work hours citing burnout? Now let's look at the question from the point of view of the employers. Is there a correlation between longer work hours and a more robust economic growth? Workers in Mexico, on average, work 2,220 hours a year. Their GDP per hour is among the lowest in the world. Data shows that as working hours decrease, productivity increases. For example, employees in Ireland work 36 hours per week on average, which amounts to 1,872 hours per year, but their GDP per hour is the highest in the world. So where is the question of working longer hours boosting the economic growth of the country? Now this man here, Mr. Murthy, is a man known for his hard work. His is the story of the middle-class Indian youth who made it big by sheer dint of hard work. He and his team built the Infosys empire not without long hours of hard work. So perhaps he has a point. So what are the gaps to be addressed? The real problem of productivity arguably arises from quiet quitting. Now what is quiet quitting? Quiet quitting is nothing but employees refusing to go beyond their actual line of duty, that is refusing to work overtime to engage clients or refusing to attend meetings that are non-mandatory, basically anything that requires them to stay overtime. From employees' perspective, they can argue that they are working for the number of hours they are paid for. But the bosses would argue, we are paying you for specific work and not by the hours, unlike in other countries. So fulfill your role in the company and don't go by the hours, they would say. There is also the gender question. Indian women struggle to stay on their jobs with poor external childcare support. A woman who works 8 hours a day struggles to keep herself afloat on both the domestic and official fronts. What happens when she is told to do 10 hours of work? So here is what businessmen can do. Take a portion of your profits and invest it back in the labor force. If you want more hours from employees, spread the number of hours between 2 people rather than 1. Hire more people, let them enjoy their lives while you stay competitive. If capitalists want their labor force to sacrifice their personal life to offer more productivity, why can't they cut down on their profits to enjoy a competitive edge? Give some, take some. Will they? A penny for your thoughts.
Subscribe to the Federal's YouTube page for more news and updates.